Gonna have to go on instinct. If you go up, I come down. Check. You have to move. I'm shaking like a leaf, Potter. Let's calm down for a second. Calm down for a second. And let's do a game review, shall we, Potter? Welcome back to Rago Games. Today we're going to be continuing with our 1000 Elo climb. We're currently sat at 666 Elo. We've had 3 wins on the bounce. We're heading in the right direction. We've been using an opening that I've created myself called the Pony Prevention. I'll show you what that is as we get into the game. So, what we're going to be doing today is what we've been doing for the majority of this Elo climb. Playing 30-minute rapids because 10 minutes, as you know, ain't long enough for this dummy brain to think about the tactics. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. Okay, so we're playing with whites, and I don't really know openings, right? But I played a guy a couple of games ago, and he did an opening, and I was like, wow, how did he do that so quickly? Like, how did he castle so quickly? And when we went through the review, Stockfish basically told us that it was called the Italian. So we're going to do that Italian opening just for now. And if he hops his ponies in, obviously we'll fall back on the Pony Prevention, a.k.a. the Knights. Which is basically, as you know, if you've been watching, he hops his knight in. Then that knight's targeting these two, in which case I basically just push the pawn forward on the outpost, preventing him from being able to hop in. It's as simple as that. We're also going to be trying to put our own knight on outposts throughout the game. Okay, so what you doing? Here we go again. Bring this queen out straight away. Is this what we're playing? No problem. So you come straight down, I take you out. So you're not going to do that. So in the meantime, we carry on developing and we get castling. So we're going to bring our bishop out to c4. Nice broad horizons for the bishop. Get our castle in. Go from there. Him bringing out his queen, he was probably thinking, I'm going to try and attack the queen straight away. Not happening. Okay. So now, he's obviously planning his attack down the way that I'm thinking of castling. The thing I don't want to do is allow this pawn to get too close, where I have to start moving these pawns out the way, because obviously they're the protection of the king. So if I am going to castle that way, I do need to think about what this pawn's going to do. At the same time, I want to continue to develop my pieces. So maybe just before I castle, I'm thinking maybe push the pawn on d2 forwards, allowing my bishop out to attack his pawn on g5. And then if I do go to that square, obviously my knight's protecting it. However, if I was to push this pawn forward, it's backing the pawn on e4, and it's also protecting my bishop, freeing up my other bishop to attack the pawn with the backing of the knight. But if he was to push down, then what would I do? So if he pushes down, I'm not going to hop onto the rim, because then he'll be able to take me. Knights on the rim are grim. I can't hop to d4, because then he can just take me, and then that's a pawn for a knight, which I lose. However, because it's so early in the game, I wouldn't really recommend this. I could just hop back, and then his pawn is basically ready for the taking with my queen. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. If this comes down, we'll just hop back for now. If he pushes again. Okay, so he's looking for the quick checkmate. If that queen comes down now, that's checkmate. So all I'm going to do is bring my bishop up. If he takes, that's fine. I'll just take. It's our only option. And if he doesn't take it and doesn't move it, I'll be taking him piece for a piece. Do you know what? This is the second time I've done this Italian opening, and I've had problems with it both times. I won't be doing it again. I won't be doing it again. Okay. So I could just drop my bishop again, and then we'll just playing repeat, which I am gonna do. And if he takes it at this point, I'll take. And then my pawn structure's still intact. And if he doesn't, we can do this all day, pal. We can do this all day. I could do this dance all day. You're not coming in. You've had too many drinks. You're arguing with the bouncer. You've had too many drinks. You're not coming in. See ya. I for eye, tooth for tooth. Now you've got a messed up pawn structure. Well done. Mine, sorry, still nice intact. Not only that, he's got a hanging pawn here now. Oh, no, he hasn't. Oh, good job of seeing that. Let's not rush into anything, Max. Let's not rush into anything. So, what I'm thinking now is maybe not castle this way. Maybe long castle, Edward Longshank. And in the meantime, push this pawn forward just to prevent his pawn from being able to come forward anymore and causing me problems down this file. What other options are there? I could throw a check in just to cause him problems where he's got to drop a bishop, maybe a pawn. Problem with that is there's no aftermath from it. I could continue to develop my pieces. Yeah, I like that. Which becomes a bit of an outpost until he drops his piece. Also puts pressure on his queen. And then if he does drop, I will take with the pawn on h1 and basically just free up my rook down this way. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. Let's continue developing. Battle for Middle-earth as well. Let's not forget the battle for Middle-earth. That's me. Bless me. Okay, so I've currently got 2 pieces developed. He hasn't got any. He's obviously doing what I was talking about, the pony prevention. So now I'm thinking, obviously we can't jump in there now. If I was to push forwards, he's got too many attackers going on, so there's no need to do that. We know that nothing's coming straight down because he hasn't got a pawn on that file anymore. So we can just hold this nice and tight. If I engage, that frees up the middle. I don't want to do that. They can't move forwards because obviously I'm preventing it. So now I'm just thinking casually, bring the queen forward. Let's get the castle in. Maybe keep the queen on this file just for the back in case he brings his queen across. Yeah, do that. Keep hold of this file. We want that file to be ours. Also, I took one of his bishops out of the game. Which bishop was it? It was the blue squared bishop, which is beneficial for... Oh, no, that... So these right now, although it's beneficial, his bishop's still within the fight because he can obviously attack white squares. If we can also try and implement putting our pawns on blue squares, that would help a lot as well. So, for example, if I push this pawn forward now, these 3 pawns will be on blue squares. That bishop will basically not be able to help out at all. I'm thinking let's do that before we get the castle in. It should also make him not want to come down. But then again, he might because he's got the queen involved as well. Okay, so if he takes, I'll take... Oh no, because then my rook... He takes, I take. And then I've got 2 pawns on the same square. Take, take. And that's the end of that. Your queen could come down, but I'm about to get that castle in after anyway. So let's just leave that for now. Maybe just get the castle in now. Yeah, let's do that. I like it. If he takes, we take. And we're still on the blue square, so this bishop can't... this bishop can't do nothing to help. And then we'll try and focus getting our other pawns on blue squares as well, if we can. Obviously, right now, it's irrelevant down this way because we want to keep the king nice and tight. Also, we can consider keeping the king on a blue square as well, just to keep his bishop out of the game. Moral of the story, if I can play my game on the white squares, he's basically a piece down. Okay. So I'm sort of looking at it like, okay, we currently got a piece for a piece. If I drop my bishop, you push down 1. I can always just hop out the way. That's fine. If I was to take, you take, I take with the bishop, you're in check. But then you can just drop 1. So that doesn't really do anything for me. So I'm just going to drop back. If he drops, I can always just hop out the way. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I can't go to this square. So you can get me. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking. A minute ago, I was thinking, do I push this pawn forward off the basis of this bishop being on white squares? Because then I know it's never going to be a problem for this pawn on a3, because it's got the backing of the pawn on b2 in a nice pyramid, and then the king's still hidden in this little corner. But then I was like, do I want to break the chain? But now this has just certified it for me. For multiple reasons. I pushed the pawn forward. They're both on blue squares. Pony prevention, you can't jump in because then I can take you. And, on top of all that, my bishop has an escape route. Let's do it. If you drop down, no problemo. I can still jump out of the way. If you drop down, I can take you. Freeing up my queen in the centre file. Centre parks, baby. Centre parks. If he does jump in and I take, it opens up this file. But I'm willing to live with that. Take. Or is there anything else I can do? Take. Push. Push. I need to free this queen up down the centre file, really. Another option is just hop back, let him take, and then I just take with the knight. Or I could just push forwards. Then he's going to take my knight. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Jump back, he takes, and then I just hop in with the knight. Then he can hop in. I'll have to deal with that after. Let's do it. If I take with the pawn, and the pawn's hanging then, and my knight's obligated to protect it, then my knight's out the game, which I don't really want. If I take it with my knight, this file's open, but then my knights are still protecting my king. I'm going to do that. If he pushes down, I can jump in again. Add in 3 defenders to the 1 pawn. At this point, my queen is now free to move. Okay. So currently, piece for piece. I feel like I want to get rid of his other bishop, because the queen and the bishop working together are a deadly force. However, I feel like I want to advance at the same time. Especially with whatever he's forming here. He could throw his knight in. Throw his bishop in, sorry. If I move my queen inland and you try something, I can take with my queen, not disrupting this pawn structure that I'm trying to hold on to. Let's do that, because to take is a mistake. I also want to try and get this knight out the way so I can get me castles working together and throw an attack on this queen. So I can throw my knight in and get an attack going. The problem is there's been so much pressure down here. I've not been able to. Take. So I still don't have to move just yet. He can't push this pawn forward, and so his queen can't get involved just yet. If I bring my knight in, he could bring his queen down to this file. Or do I just take this? I feel like I should just take this knight. Sorry, this bishop at this point. If I take this bishop away, he's got one rook. I can take that rook out. If I push, it's got too much pressure coming in. If he comes down, all of a sudden that's a problem again. And then that becomes a hanging pawn. Yeah, I feel like I need to get rid of this bishop right now. Another option would be just push up. Don't have to lose my bishop. Attack this pawn and then cause his king some problems. Yeah, you know what? Attack now. I'm done playing this defensive game. I'm done. If you want to come in, come in. I'll just take you. That's fine. Now you're not really doing anything. Yeah, you could come in. But then what? Nothing. Whereas I just take that. You're in check. That's what I mean. You've done nothing. Oh, actually, no. You've moved it out of the way, so I can't take that. However, if I jump in with my knight now, you could come back and take it, but then I can just take you. But other than that, it blocks you in. And then you can't really play. I think I'm going to do that, you know. Put him as a holding square just for now. Then if you jump in, can't really do nothing about that. Unless I push one. I need to get my rooks involved, don't I? Knight. Put some pressure on this queen. I feel like something's coming. Something's coming. But whatever's coming, I want to put some pressure on this queen. I feel like he might push this pawn down. I'm also thinking of getting this the knight involved. So if he does come up, I can just take it. Leave my queen on the square. It's kind of doing a lot, this queen, right now. If he pushes down, I can take, which I'm thinking of getting my knight to that square anyway. Blocking off his escape route. Okay, if you jump in, I can take you. If you jump in, I can take you. If you jump in, I can take you. You can't jump in there. You blocked your rook. I don't feel like that's a very good move from you. Now I'm thinking, bring the rook across. Put some pressure on the queen. I could also bring this pawn forward first. And then I've got the ability to bring my king up one and try and take this fool out. Also, if I put pressure on the queen, the odds are the queen will probably move to here. Which still doesn't free up this pawn take. But if it did move backwards or something, there's a pawn there for the taking with this bishop. Which then frees me up to move the... Hang on a second. I can now... This is a free pawn, isn't it? For my queen. Because that's what that knight was doing. It was protecting it. So if I was to take that with my queen, then I can come and take that. Because this queen won't be able to because it's backed. Currently it's blocking my entrance. And that knight was preventing that. And that's the reason I wasn't taking it. But now I can take it. If you take, I can come back and get you. If you come in there, the pawn can get you. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. And then we can put the queen in. And then there's problems. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. He can't castle this way. Because he's already moved the rook. If he was to hop this pony in, there's potential of a castle. However, oh, actually, I can't fly in just yet. Because this knight can get involved. And now that knight can get involved as well. So this is where I'm thinking. Get this knight involved. Block off the bishop. If the bishop does come up, I can take it. I could bring my second knight in. Or do I just put some pressure on this queen right now? If he goes there, I can take. If he goes there, nothing. Actually, if I move this rook, then this rook can come in. Whereas I've moved this one. Yeah. Let's just put some pressure on this queen for now. For a second. Because he's obviously got castling in mind. Taking this pawn right now is not an option because I take, you take. Put it this way, he's got 1, 2, 3 defenders. I've got 2 attackers, and I'm not putting my queen in harm's way. I can't drop back and take this because of the rook. I can't push up because of the queen, putting a pressure on the rook. But if this queen decides to move anywhere off this file, now I can throw in a problem. Oh, hang on, no, because I'm in check now. Throw my knight in, you take. I push up with my rook. You can't take because I'll take. Also, throw my knight in, you take. Like a greedy little fool. My queen flies in and takes yours. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Take. Also, while that's happening, I can push my queen up, putting pressure on this rook. He's done it. No, night. Thank you. Is that resignation I can smell coming? Is that a resignation I can smell coming, Potter? You know you want to, because right now I'm about to drop back, fly up. Cause you problems, son. Cause you big problems. You jump in, I take. In fact, you jump in and I'll take with that, with me rook. That was nice, wasn't it? Hit the like button if you like that. Come on! Giddy up there, boy. Giddy up there! Oh, I know what he's doing. He's just got his other computer to punch in the codes for help off the bot. What do I do next? Okay. So castling's off the menu for you. I think he's just tried to bait me in there so he can take me. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to drop 1. Putting him in check. Let's make his king dance. Let's make his king dance. That's what I want to do. I want to see that. King dancing around like a jester in his own castle. That's what I want to see. What do you guys want to see? Shall I make this king dance around like a jester? Well, okay. Consider it done. Harry Potter. Okay, still want if He wants me on that square, doesn't he? Now I'm thinking, let's break open this centre. Let's break open this centre. Take it if you want it. Take it. Realistically now, I'm going to want to push this pawn forward to back this one. Okay. I'm thinking... Need to be careful with this bishop. If I push this pawn forward, put some pressure on this knight. But then I will, if I push this pawn forward, he can take this. Okay. Maybe just continue the development of this pawn, you know. Yeah. I think I like it, Potter. If he brings his rook across, bring my queen across, make the king dance like a jester. Need to make sure, I need to get this bishop out of the game, really. Struggling to keep these at bay. There's so much pressure around my king right now. He's done well to get his king on this square, really, because I can't get my rooks involved. Okay. If I push one forward, you're in check. You have to move. Where's this? That's the angle of that, isn't it? Four minutes on the clock as well. I need to be quick, but I don't want to do anything stupid. I could bring my queen up, putting the king in check if he stays on this file. And then, yeah. Whilst this knight's there, I can then take out his rook because his bishop's blocked. Hopefully he moves his king on this file still and doesn't retreat back. And then I can get rid of the rook. If he stays on this file, I come up with my queen, keeping him in check, take the rook out of the game because he's blocking the way out. But obviously, he's punching in the codes, so the bot's never going to tell him to stay on that file, you see. But at this point, I can push my pawn one more. Putting pressure on the rook. He'll probably push his rook over. And then I can get my queen involved with the backing of this rook to try and take this rook out. Alright, so if I come across... Hang on. If I come across to here and then just bounce one left, I can take the rook out. And if he does come down and take it, my rook can take it. Okay. If I drop one, I put pressure on his rook. He's probably going to move his rook. His king can't take because my rook can take. Then I fly him with the bishop. Or, none of that. I just push this pawn forward one. Actually, no, because I could just jump my knight in and put some pressure on his rook. I'd like to push this pawn forward, but I can't because this is a hanging pawn. And by the time I move that rook to back it, the pressure's off there, and then I get this rook across. It's too many moves. I need to keep the momentum. Problem is, when he's punching in codes against... I'm playing against the bot. And you know it. You know it. But I've only got 3 minutes on the clock, so I've got to do something now. Got to do something. I could push this pawn, get my king up. Or do I just develop this piece? No. I can't move this because if he jumps in, check, I give him momentum. Obviously, I've got pressure on his rook now. You can't move down because I can take. You can move across if you want. You can move back. I need to get rid of these knights. I could also actually come across, throw a check in, and then he's got to move that king again. He won't be able to take the pawn because... And that will then give me a chance to throw my second rook in. Yeah. Now I've got the 2 rooks on the battle for Middle-earth with the queen. Question is, what are you going to do about this rook, mate? Also, if I jump my knight in again, the knight's also back in this pawn. I can throw checks in. Check. You move. Okay, you took that out. So now I push. And then put pressure on this rook. Piece for a piece. Now if you jump in, I can take you. If you jump in, I can take you. If you jump in, I could come down. Okay. I always find I don't want to speak too soon. That when there's a knight dancing around my king. Oh no, see, he's just fought me there. There's no taking it out either. Okay, fair one. Just lost the piece. Because he just jumps in. Now I'm going to have to start throwing checks in. It ain't over just because I've got a queen and I've got 2 minutes. Think about this, Max. How can I win this? If he hops in here, he forks. Which he's going to do anyway because I'm in check. He's defo punching problems in for me. But for me to deal with that, I simply come down, put him in check, and then take him out. Oh no. Okay, so I'm thinking, actually, if I come down, he jumps in, I can take him. In the meantime, come across, pin that knight and take it out. Unless he jumps back in, and which this bishop's gone. So now that's pinned, I can get rid of it. I've got 60 seconds on the clock. I have to start moving. And then I'll probably bring my second rook in, start a battery. If I just fly all the way up, that's a check. Or I can just go straight up, check, and then you can't move across. That's checkmate. Oh no, because then his knight can jump in. Straight up, you go up, block. I'm gonna have to go on instinct. If you go up, I come down, check, you have to move. Soccer! God diggity time. I'm shaking like a leaf, Potter. God damn. Wow. Sorry for not talking in that last couple of minutes. Didn't have time. I had to go full blown instinctive mode. Look at that for a victory. Let's calm down for a second. Calm down for a second. And let's do a game review, shall we, Potter? I feel like I've done alright, but I don't know. Let's see what the computer's saying. Scurry Murray. Scurry Murray. Oh! God damn! My man played an accuracy of 75.1. He played with 68.9. I had no blunders, 2 mistakes and 2 misses. 18 bests and 1 great. I played with the average game rating of 1,150. So when you're watching this going, mate, hurry up, do this, do that, the computer says no. So when I'm taking my time going, actually, positions, problems, there was problems, there was pressure. You might not have felt it watching, but I felt it playing. Look at this, it was even Steven all the way to this halfway point, and something happened here which gave me the pressure all the way to the end. But then I had time against me. Let's start this review.
Opening with the king's pawn, control e5, knight f3. They had a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack.
I think both times I played this Italian opening, that's happened with the queen. Usually, in that scenario, I would have pushed this pawn forward, but because he had this pawn there, was that his plan all along? That looks like a tactical plan, doesn't it, actually, the more you look at it? Get these two out, push this pawn the whole way, and then usually I would push this pawn forward to prevent the queen from coming in, because that pawn was there, I couldn't. So it drove me to just keep playing the back and forth with my bishop.
This blocks an attack on your pawn. They've made a mistake, and your better option was to tactically win a pawn.
It was, but at the same time, was it?
They are threatening to checkmate. You permitted the opponent to threaten. They defended their bishop,
and
which was under attack.
He had to do something else.
You are forcing your opponent to double pawns.
Now he's double pawning, and I've got rid of... He can't do that stupid little scholar's mate, or whatever it's called. The whole time I couldn't take this out with my queen is because of this knight. And I was struggling to find a way out of my boxed-in container. You know what I'm saying? And then, boom.
You are now able to eventually win a bishop.
He moved it, which allowed me to then get in the game.
Their better move, you captured that free queen.
Oh, God diggity damn. Remember that.
This move will cost you. This move puts their queen on a safer square.
I literally anticipated that. I baited him in.
This move will cost you a knight.
I dared him to take that because I knew I was coming in to get that queen. And he thought about it. 22-14.
You can pick up a free queen.
21-46.
Their better move was to tactically win a knight.
You spent half a minute making that decision and still didn't see that. And he wasn't a bad player. He got a 69 rating or whatever it was.
You captured that free queen.
That's all she wrote. Because in that scenario, it's so... You get so buzzed up like, yeah, I've got my queen. He hasn't got this. I'll just run riot. But I could have lost my queen so many times. Like, these knights centre square are so bait right now. All them red squares are being covered by these two knights. My queen lands on any of them. Murder, she wrote. And he tried baiting me in right there.
They blocked the check from your queen.
to not ruin my pawn structure. But I seen it, so I took with my
You
pawn.
captured a free pawn. That pawn chain will help strengthen your pawn structure.
In my head, all I was thinking at this moment was, I need to get my pawns involved. I need my pawns involved so I can bounce off the back of the protection of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I was thinking. But then this knight's here, right next to the king, just like blocking off so many angles. I couldn't get in. Like, my queen can't go on any of them, and I'm thinking all that, and then I'm seeing this bishop. I'm like, how can I get the bishop involved? Bishop can't get involved because the knight can get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all going from my head. 35 seconds on the clock.
That's quite an error. Now's your chance to capitalize on it.
Worst thing he could have done was move that knight, because although you're coming in here, I felt the pressure relief. And I just knew, okay, sweet. Now my bishop can get in because the pressure's off it. You know what I'm saying? And if you look now, 35 seconds.
Your position is still winning, but you missed a fast checkmate.
Did I? Would that have been a checkmate? Oh my god, it would have, but because of the 35 seconds, I didn't have it in the locker. Yeah, because we're saying that.
That's quite an error. Now's your chance to capitalize on it.
If I would have pushed forwards, you're in check. But then you can still move up, so it isn't a checkmate just yet. If I would have come in with my queen, you still could have pushed up, so that wouldn't have been a checkmate either. So what are you talking about?
Your position is still winning, but you missed a fast checkmate.
Pushing that up right now, I knew this is going to go, but then I'm in the same predicament with my backup rook. As long as I can get that rook next to this king cannot go on this file because my queen is taking it, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't thinking that far ahead beyond that, but I just knew, you know.
They are right on.
Get rid of that.
Back. They played the strongest move. This was the only move. A correct move to get their rook.
And then, yeah, he's coming in with 2 rooks. I'm like, oh no, what's going on?
You dodge the. You get a chance to force eventual checkmate. Their best option was to win material through a tactic. Great focus.
I knew.
You held on to the force mate even with the clock ticking down.
It was all she wrote.
They moved their king out of the check.
And because I had pushed my pawn up earlier on when the minute began.
Congrats on your win.
I had the backup. 18 seconds on the clock, rude boy. God damn! Where are we up now? 6-7-7. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 elo. 6-7-7. We're moving up. We're playing well. I'm feeling good. 4 wins on the bounce. Hit the like button. I'll see you on the next one.